Welcome to NFL World, where NFL starts and ends. I'm your host, Jacob. And on today's episode, Jaire Alexander has signed a 1-year, $6 million deal with the Baltimore Ravens. And it was not surprising he was the first domino to fall. But could that be a trend that happens over the next couple weeks of we start seeing guys move? Kendall Fuller, Jack Jones, Mike Hilton, Stephon Gilmore, the trade for Jalen Ramsey could be impending. Those are all things that need to happen. But Jaire being the first one to move, I'm not surprised. The $6 million we'll get back to, but I thought that was a good range for him. For a guy who said, oh, it's going to be too expensive, it was not that expensive. Very doable for the player that you have. Now, the interesting thing about Jaire, as I'm looking through his stats right now and the games he's played, he's only played 16 games one time. He's done it one time. You got to go back all the way to 2019. He played 16 games for the Green Bay Packers. And in those games, he had a total of 2 interceptions. He had 2 interceptions. He had 37 yards returns on those interceptions. He had a PDF grade on defense of 17. Like, he was that guy in 2019. Why do I bring that up? Because he's only done that once. As I said, he did 15 the year after in 2020, but then he played 4 in 2021, 16 in 2022 when we changed to the 17-game format, and then has played 7 games each of the last 2 years. So you have to think, okay, this is an injury-plagued player. We'll get back into it in a little bit, but I just want that to be known. And it wasn't like the Ravens absolutely needed Jaire Alexander. They had made some very good moves in the offseason. They already had Marlon Humphrey. They drafted Nate Wiggins a year ago, who's an outstanding corner out of Clemson. They ended up bringing in Chidobe Awuzie from the Titans. Former Bengal, former Cowboy. He's been around, but he's been a good starter. You brought him in. Now you bring in Jaire Alexander. So of your 4 corners, you have a guy like Marlon Humphrey. You have Jaire Alexander. You have Nate Wiggins. You have Chidobe Awuzie playing your 4th corner. Those are all guys. It's not often you find a guy who's played. How do I say this? How many teams can you look at where they have 4 corners that have all started meaningful games? That's something you have to be surprised about. Not because Chidobe Awuzie played in a Super Bowl. Marlon Humphrey has been there a long time. He's played in a lot of meaningful games. Jaire Alexander in the playoffs is unbelievable. He's played really well. And he's played in a lot of meaningful games. Nate Wiggins is the newcomer, but has already shown that he is as good as anyone ever could have thought he would have been. That's how good this cornerback room. Last year, okay, we're back. Last year was the first year under new defensive coordinator Zach Orr. They moved Marlon Humphrey from the slot to the outside because they had problems with their cornerbacks, and it wasn't working. It just didn't work. Then they slotted him back into slot corner, and then it worked. They were able to do everything. They were fine. Their defense got way better. You can basically do that with Jaire Alexander. He can play outside. He can play some slot. He does have good reflexes in that department in a way he can move from each position, and he's perfectly fine. He does it like it's Like in their sleep, it's so easy for him. I wouldn't be surprised if on one play they have Merlin Humphrey play the outside and the outside, and then but it was a good move for them. Now you gotta trust the medical. The medical is what's important here. Jaire Alexander has had MCL problems. He's had some injuries. In fact, let me make sure I get this number right. He played 14 games of a possible 34. That's not a lot in the last 2 years. He was on a good streak. He had 2 interceptions so far. He did give up a touchdown. But he was on a good roll, and then he got hurt. So I think the culture will help Jaire in Baltimore. He gets to rejoin his former Louisville teammate in Lamar Jackson. They played at Louisville together. Like, that's a really big thing for them. I just want to see how this defense plays at an extreme level. Because Alexander's a good football player when healthy. How healthy will he be? Because you got Baltimore is looking at 4 teams. 4 teams drive the Ravens crazy. There's 4. Buffalo, Kansas City, Pittsburgh, and Cincinnati. Why did I include Pittsburgh and Cincinnati? Pittsburgh, except for the last 2 times, even though Baltimore went 2-1 last year in matchups against the Steelers always give the Ravens a very difficult time. I don't know why, they just do. Cincinnati, for obvious reasons, their offense with Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins leading the charge, you can understand why, even though their defense is suspect. I'm talking about Cincinnati's defense. They're suspect. Yes, I understand that. But that's the 2 teams in the AFC North. And then you got the Bills, who are always going to be in it. The Chiefs are always going to be in it. You have to find a way to beat those teams. So I like the move from that perspective. Now let's get to the number. $6 million. For a 28-year-old player, a 1-year, $6 million deal doesn't really happen for a guy of this caliber. Unless the injuries have been the problem, which they have been. He's shown when healthy, he's a great football player. But I would assume this is more the track he goes on for the remainder of his career, really, is 1 to 2 year contract, not with a lot of money, because it's going to be we'll wait and see kind of thing. I feel that completely of it might be we'll see what happens, maybe, possibly, who knows. But I could see that happening for sure. Again, he's 28 years old. And if he stays on the field, he's already shown he can do many things. Play slot, play outside, he could do it. And for this, you don't find a player for $6 million in June who's this caliber of player. You just don't find it. So the Ravens absolutely stole one here. Because you knew Pittsburgh was probably interested. And when you didn't want him to go to Pittsburgh, there was a couple other places that might have made some intriguing offers, but didn't get that far. And you want to make your quarterback happy. You say 24 hours before, he says, I want Jaire Alexander. 24 hours later, he got Jaire Alexander. That's what you do. He's going to help us win. Boom. That's all the organization needs to hear. He'll help us win. Great. Let's bring him in. And that's what they did. He'll be helped by the locker room. He's going to have his former teammate in Lamar Jackson there. The hope is the health works and everything happens, because I don't like seeing when players get hurt. I know it's part of the business, but I don't like seeing it. This team should be really good. Can they stay healthy on defense? It's going to be the massive, massive question. And the question that we're going to have in the comments, how good can this Ravens team be? What will their record be? Let me know in the comment section down below. And before we go, I want to bring up some other Ravens news, or ex-Raven, I should say. CJ Mosley has announced his retirement. Actually, today is in fact his birthday. He announced his retirement. He's 33 years old. Didn't play a whole lot last year. Was battling an injury. And Mosley, when been healthy, has been an unbelievable football player. Played for the Ravens for many years. Was their team captain. I believe he won the Super Bowl with them also when he was very young. So he's done everything for them. He's been an unreal football player. Played in New York the last few years. When he's on the field, he's good. He's been injured a lot. He had a bad neck issue. Didn't play that much. And he's finally calling it quits at age 33. So congratulations to CJ Mosley. Hope he has a wonderful retirement. I can't wait to see what else he does in his post-NFL life. But also don't be surprised. We get closer and closer to the season, or even next year, where that bug starts eating at him a little bit and he decides to come back. Don't be surprised for that. Let me know down below about what's the record for the Baltimore Ravens in 2025. While you're down there, like, subscribe, share the video. It's absolutely free. Helps us out a ton and continues to build the NFL World community. For NFL World, I'm Jacob Hebert. Out.